Hello! Pete's Packs here, and we're back with our second commander deck for Aetherdrift. This is Esper Eternal Might. Burn through cards, grow your mummy army. So let's get into this. More mummy, more problems. Okay. I think that's supposed to be mo mummy, mo problems, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, we've got our Collector Booster Sample Pack, which we will add to our stack over here and open in its own video. Okay. So we have our Tuck Box. That is themed. Not too bad. They've switched to kind of a fold-up pamphlet style, covering commander rules, blurb about the deck, and then some art. Apparently this is Temet, Noctamun's Will. Okay. Six counters. They've really, kind of cut back on what they give us for those last couple of years. It's alright. Then we have the star of the show, the deck. Woo! Let's pull in and go over this. Gotta find little cutout. See it. There we go. Also, apologies ahead of time. It is allergy season. So, let's see if I can make it through this whole video. Alright, starting things off, we have Temet. Noctamun's Will. 2 white, blue, black for 4/4 legendary zombie wizard with vigilance and menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you draw a card, zombies you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. That is a little silly, especially considering Brainstorm is in this format. That turns Brainstorm into a giant growth for all of your characters. Or for all of your zombies, rather. It's pretty cool. Hashaton, Scarab's Fist. Oh, neat thing they did with the color identity there. Okay, so for white-black, you get a 1/3 legendary creature, zombie wizard. Whenever you discard a creature card, you may pay 2 and a blue. If you do, create a tapped token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. So basically, you get to eternalize, more or less at instant speed. It's like Madness Eternalize. On Wings of Gold, 3 and a white enchantment. Creatures you control that are zombies and or tokens get +1/+1 and have flying. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 white zombie creature token. Ooh. That could be interesting. Priest of the Crossing. 3 and a white for 3/3 zombie bird cleric with flying. At the beginning of each end step, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. That's pretty cool. Renewed Solidarity. 2 and a white enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+0 at the beginning of your end step. For each token you control of the chosen type that entered this turn, create a token that's a copy of it. Huh. Neat. So some interesting things with tokens that create copies of other things when they come in. Wizened Mentor. 1 and a white for a 2/2 zombie cleric. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a permanent that isn't a mana ability, you create a 1/1 white zombie creature token. This ability only triggers once each turn. I think that was a bit of a cop-out. This could have triggered any time. Harsh Mentor does. Why doesn't this? Prophet of the Scarab. Four and a blue for a 3/4 zombie wizard with vigilance. Whenever this creature enters, draw cards equal to the number of zombies you control, or the number of zombie cards in your graveyard, whichever is greater. Rettomb Mystic. One and a blue for a 2/1 zombie bird wizard with flying. Each creature card in your hand has cycling 1 and a blue. This is so interesting and exciting to me. I love Cycle Storm, especially in Pauper, and this makes me think that there may be some kind of brew we can do in Legacy. I mean, we could do brews in Legacy already, but that feels like a good enabler. Lost Monarch of Ifnir. 3 and a black for 4/4 zombie noble with afflict 3. Whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. Other zombies you control have afflict 3. At the beginning of your second main phase, if a player was dealt combat damage by a zombie this turn, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Accursed Duneyard. Land, tap for colorless. 2, tap, regenerate target's shade, skeleton, specter, spirit, vampire, wraith, or zombie. That's neat. And of course they explain regeneration here. The next time it would be destroyed this turn, instead tap it, remove it from combat, and heal all damage on it. That's pretty cool. Apparently heal means remove all damage. Commence the endgame. This is new art for this. Instant. This spell can't be countered. Draw 2 cards, then amass zombies X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. But X +1/+1 counters on an army you control. It's also a zombie. If you don't control an army, create a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first. One moment. That may be important. Everything's okay. Alright, Crypt Breaker. For a black, it's a 1/1 zombie. 1 and a black. Tap, discard a card, create 2/2 black zombie creature token. Tap 3 untap zombies you control, draw a card, and you lose a life. This is also a reprint. Several of these are reprints. It's just... yeah. Grave Titan. 4 black for a 6/6 giant with Death Touch. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, create 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Very nice. Gravecrawler. For a black, you get a 2/1 zombie that can't block. You may cast this card from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. Midnight Reaper. 2 and a black for a 3/2 zombie knight. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. Still good. Murderous Rider. Oh, they decided to reskin a bunch of these for Amonkhet. I like that. 1 black for a 2/3 zombie knight with lifelink, and when this creature dies, put it in the bottom of its owner's library. It also has an adventure side of 1 black instant, Swift End, which is 1 black instant adventure. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, you lose 2 life. Zombie Master. 1 black for 2/3 zombie. Other zombie creatures have Swamp Walk. Other zombies have black. Regenerate this permanent. Nice. Angel of Sanctions. 3 white for 3/4 angel with flying. Whenever this creature enters, you may exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. Embalm. 5 and a white. So for 5 and a white, exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a white zombie angel with no mana cost. Embalm only as a sorcery. Dusk to Dawn. Dusk is 2 white sorcery, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. Dawn has Aftermath, so it can only be cast from your graveyard, and then you exile it. But 3 white white, return all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Back when several of these were in standard together, there were quite a few decks that used both of them, or that used multiple cards with these. God Eternal Oketra. This was in War of the Spark, if I remember correctly. I remembered really enjoying this card when it was in standard. But 3 white white for a 3/6 legendary zombie god with double strike. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. Whenever God Eternal Oketra dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, third from the top. Just keeps coming back. Timeless Dragon. 3 white white for a 5/5 dragon with flying, plane cycling for 2. So for 2, you can discard the card to search your library for a planes card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle, and eternalize 2 white white. So for 2 white white, you exile this card from your graveyard to create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie dragon with no mana cost. Eternalize only as a sorcery. Okay. Champion of Wits, another one that was absolutely fantastic when it was in standard. 2 and a blue for a 2/1 Snake Wizard. When it enters, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. Then you can eternalize for 5 blue. Forgotten Creation. 3 and a blue for a 3/3 zombie horror with Skulk, so it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all cards in your hand. If you do, draw that many cards. Yeah. It's a Wheel of Fortune for just you, whenever you want it. Or each turn, rather. Pull from Tomorrow. Another fantastic card when it was in standard. X blue instant. Draw X cards, then discard a card. Vizier of Many Faces. 2 blue for 0/0 Shapeshifter Cleric. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except if this creature was embalmed. The token has no mana cost, it's white, and it's a zombie in addition to its other types. Embalm, 3 white white. Archfiend of Ifnir. 3 black for a 5/4 demon with flying. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. Cycling 2. Cemetery Reaper. 1 black for a 2/2 zombie. Other zombies you control get +1/+1. 2 and a black tap. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Crowded Crypt. 2 and a black artifact. Tap for a black. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a corpse counter on this artifact. 4 blacks. Tap and sacrifice this artifact. Create a 2/2 zombie creature token with Decayed for each corpse counter on this artifact. A creature with Decayed can't block. When it attacks, sacrifice it at the end of combat. Damn. But black sorcery, destroy target creature. A creature destroyed this way can't be regenerated, and then it overloads for 2 white. So it's a targeted removal spell that becomes Wrath of God, if you want it to be. Dread Summons. X black sorcery. Each player mills X cards. For each creature card put into a graveyard this way, you create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token. Liliana, Death's Majesty. 3 black for a 5 loyalty legendary planeswalker Liliana. +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token and mill 2 cards. -3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This creature is a black zombie in addition to its other types and colors. And -7, destroy all non-zombie creatures. Quite often, this just ends up being an expensive reanimate spell. Dreadhorde Invasion. 1 and a black enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and amass zombies 1. Whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink until end of turn. This got touted as the next Bitter Blossom when it was in standard. It was not. It was good. It just wasn't that good. Never to return. Never is one black sorcery, destroy target creature or planeswalker. So bad hero's downfall. Return is 3 and a black, sorcery aftermath. Exile target card from a graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Plague Belcher. This was really fun in the zombie deck that I was mentioning earlier when it was in standard. 2 and a black for a 5/4 zombie beast with menace. When this creature enters, put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Not only was this extremely undercosted at the time, but quite often you would just kill your own 2/2 and trigger this immediately. Rot Hulk. 5 black for 5/5 zombie with menace. When this creature enters, return up to X target zombie cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of opponents you have. The Scarab God. 3 blue-black for 5/5 legendary creature god. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. This card was a menace in standard. 2 blue-black. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. When Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. It was very good at the time. Still is very good. Godpharaoh's Gift. Also in standard at the same time. 7 mana artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn. This was a silly time for standard. Maskwood Nexus. 4 mana artifact. Creatures you control have every creature type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. 3 tap, create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. Very fun card as well. Adakar Waste. It's the blue-white pain land. Taps for colorless, and then you can tap for a blue or white, and it deals 1 damage to you. Caves of Koilos. It's the white-black one. Drowned Catacomb is the blue-black buddy land, so enters tapped unless you control an island or swamp. And taps for blue or black. Exotic Orchard taps for 1 mana of any color that a land your opponents control could produce. Fetid Pools. It's an island swamp that enters tapped and cycles for 2. Glacial Fortress. It's the blue-white buddy land. Irrigated Farmland. It's a plains island that enters tapped and cycles for 2. Isolated Chapel is the white-black buddy land. Prairie Stream is a plains island that enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. So that means these are tutorable. Sunken Hollow, same but for blue and for island and swamp. Temple of Deceit, it is the blue-black temple. Enters tapped. When it enters, you scry 1, and then taps for blue or black. Temple of Silence is the same but for black or white. Underground River, it is the blue-black pain land. Taps for a colorless, and then taps for a blue or a black, and deals 1 damage to you. Unholy Grotto was pretty good when it was in standard. I believe this was in Onslaught originally. But taps for a colorless, and then for a black, you can tap and put target zombie card from your graveyard on top of your library. Corpse Augur. 3 and a black for a 4/2 zombie wizard. When this creature dies, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of creature cards in target player's graveyard. That can be a lot of cards real fast. Swords to Plowshares. That's actually a great version of Swords to Plowshares. The best piece of removal ever printed. For a white, it's an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Corpse Knight. Funny enough, when this was first printed in a Brawl deck, it was misprinted. But white-black 2/2 Zombie Knight. Whenever another creature you control enters, each opponent loses 1 life. Arcane Signet. We all know what this does, but it's a 2-mana artifact, taps for your commander's color identity. Soul Ring, another one we all know. It's in pretty much every commander deck, but 1-mana artifact that taps for 2. Command Tower, taps for your commander's color identity. Path of Ancestry, enters tapped, also taps for your commander's color identity. And if you spend that mana to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, you scry 1. Binding Mummy. 1 and a white for a 2/2 zombie. Whenever another zombie you control enters, you may tap target artifact or creature. Cast Out. Still a good card. 3 and a white enchantment, Flash. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Cycles for a white. Eternal Skylord. 4 and a blue for a 3/3 zombie wizard. When this enters, amass zombies 2. And zombie tokens you control have flying. Fleshbag Marauder. 2 and a black for a 3/1 zombie warrior, and when it enters, each player sacrifices a creature of their choice. Huh. It's interesting that they reworded that, because it should be sacrifices a creature they control. But I guess of their choice implies that they control it. Gympalm Polluter. 5 and a black for a 4/3 zombie, cycling, black. When you cycle this card, you may have target player lose life equal to the number of zombies on the battlefield. This is a very strong way to close out games. Lord of the Accursed. 2 and a black for a 2/3 zombie. Other zombies you control get +1/+1. 1 and a black, tap. All zombies gain menace until end of turn. Keep in mind, you can also use that to give your opponent's zombies menace, which can be interesting for politics situations. Twisted Abomination. 5 and a black for a 5/3 zombie mutant. For a black, regenerate this creature, and it has swamp cycling for 2. Undead Augur. Black for a 2/2 zombie wizard. Whenever this creature or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Keep in mind that it's unrestricted. Despark. White, instant. Exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater. Gleaming Overseer. 1 blue-black for a 1/4 zombie wizard. Whenever this creature enters, amass zombies 1. Zombie tokens you control have hexproof and menace. Very strong. Lazotep Chancellor. Blue-black for a 1/3 zombie wizard. Whenever you discard a card, you may pay 1. If you do, amass zombies 2. Wow. That's really strong. Wayward Servant. White for a 2/2 zombie. Whenever another zombie you control enters, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. Fontu's Monument. 3 mana artifact, legendary artifact. Black creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Got a nice kind of aristocrats theme built into this as well as zombies. Commander Sphere, 3 mana artifact, taps for your commander's color identity, and you can sacrifice it to draw a card. Dimir Signet, it's the blue-black signet, a 2 mana artifact that filters 1 into blue-black. Gate to the Afterlife, 3 mana artifact. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you gain 1 life. Then you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, search your graveyard, hand, and/or library for a card named Godfarrow's Gift, and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Activate only if there are 6 or more creature cards in your graveyard. This was one of the things that made Godfarrow's Gift so broken when it was in Standard. Orzhov Signet, it's the white-black signet. Talisman of Dominance. 2 mana artifact, taps for colorless, then taps for a blue or black, and it deals 1 damage to you. Talisman of Hierarchy, same as the Talisman of Dominance, but for white-black. Arcane Sanctum, it's a land that enters tapped and taps for white, blue, or black. Ash Barrens, it's a land that taps for colorless and has basic land cycling 1. So you can pay 1 and discard this to search your library for basic and put it into your hand. Desert of the Glorified. The land desert that enters tapped and then taps for a black and cycles for 1 and a black. Desert of the Mindful, same as the Glorified but blue. Desert of the True, same as the other two but white. Evolving Wilds. Tap and sack, search your library for a basic, put it into play tap, then shuffle. Orzhov Basilica, it is the white-black Karu. So it enters tapped. When this land enters, return a land you control to its owner's hand, and then taps for a white and a black. Terramorphic Expanse, same as Evolving Wilds, just different name. Tap and sacrifice, search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Then we have basics. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plains. 1, 2, 3, 4 islands, and 1, 2, 3, 5 swamps. We have some tokens. We have some zombies. Looks like 5 zombie tokens. Our Archangel or Angel of Sanctions. Champion of Wits. Timeless Dragon. Vizier of Many Faces. And Shapeshifter tokens. Then we have a zombie army. There's also a shapeshifter. A zombie that is a zombie warrior. Another one. A zombie on one side that is also a zombie with decayed on the other. And a second one. And we have the turn order reminder. And popular magic formats. Very nice. All around, seems like a pretty cool theme deck. Built around zombies, for the most part. Has some neat stuff in it. I could see picking up a couple extra of these. Just to throw in a closet. But, yeah, as always, thank you for joining me on this adventure. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. We are getting super close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, please consider it. And until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.